This conference will now be recorded.
So in yesterday's session, we have seen the overview of the ARA, that is Access Risk Analysis. So today concept is all about the EAM, stands for Emergency Access Management. So the name itself, it is going to explain you. We are going to learn about something called as a emergency access. So emergency situations are nothing like what you hear regularly. This is completely different concept in our security. So it's all about the user administration only, providing user access for a SAP consultant only. So for whom we are going to provide this emergency access? For our BW consultant, HR, HD, anyone in the ECC system itself, we are going, other than the regular access we provide, there is some concept called as the emergency access. So today we are going to learn what is the definition of EAM, what are the situations we are going to see here. Firstly, there is a, let us take similarly the same FI consultant. So there is a FI consultant called Krishna who have joined in the company. Okay, he is a FI consultant here. Now, one of you is the security consultant. How are you doing here? So you are going to create a user ID by using SU01. Okay, you are going to provide him some roles and profiles. Okay, in this way, you are going to create some roles and profiles. So finance related access, you are going to provide him simply. So So after you provide access as a FI consultant, what this user is, so after creating the user, this user is going to use his regular access. But what happened as a FI consultant, he need to generate some reports, okay, like month end reports or quarterly reports. He need to generate some reports. So let me take an example of month end reports. Okay, so month end reports means he not only generating reports related to FI only, he is also going to get reports from the HD. Okay, he is also going to get reports from in this way, CEO, HD, in this way. So as we all know that these all are interlinked concepts: finance, controlling, sales and distribution, So if one record they are updating, it will be automatically updating in other also. If it is sales related data, it will be updated in HD records, it will be updated in finance records. If it is something like procurement, material, purchasing new material, it will be updated in FI and also in this way. So these all are interlinked concepts. For this reason, this FI consultant required access to other systems or other transaction codes. So they may be separate systems, separately SEO system, separately HD system, or separately an system. Or else within the same ECC system, he required access for HD transaction codes, CO transaction codes, and transaction codes. So when he required, do he require for entire year? No, only for 2 or 3 days. Okay, so 2 or 3 days he required access so that he can generate the reports. So only for report generation purpose he is going access. For other systems or all the systems in the landscape, he required access for 2 to 3 days. So for this situation, what is the solution you are having as of now? Do you know the emergency access concept? No, right? I am asking about what is the concept you know till what you have learned till now. Yes. So he required access for all the modules for 2 or 3 days. What is the solution? So two solutions we are having. First one is the providing a standard row, standard profile, that is SAP underscore all. So by this profile, this user is going to get full access for 2 or 3 days, which we are going to specify, or else build a customized role. So whatever authorizations he required for that purpose, we are going to build a customized role here. Okay. So in that customized role, whatever authorizations he required, we are going to provide here. Here, by doing this way, what are the problems we will face here? Is there any issues? No issues? So lot of issues. What are they? Giving SAP you get access to each and every code and everything. Okay. Any users also for password, any changes. New? Any users also changes the permissions. Okay. Changes. Okay. Change. Okay. Changing in the data. Next. They may change the data. Next. They may create some new data which is not required. They may display some sensitive data which is not required. They may delete some of the key documents from the system. They may copy the details from a transaction code and send it to the competitor company. All these are potential risks we are having. So see, even it's SAP underscore all, even it's a customized role. So for a finance consultant, you are providing access for the SD transaction code or SD system. You are providing access here. So what happened one fine day? The audit teams comes into picture. So what this audit team find out is that a finance consultant has misused an SD transaction code. So the audit team will get this information. They are experts in that. They are going to track each and every activity which is performed, and they will come to know that a FI consultant is misusing an HD transaction code. So what is the first question that comes here in this scenario? Who is the person responsible for providing the access here? This is the first question that rises here. Immediately you. So Krishna is the FI consultant. You are the security consultant who have given authorization for an HD transaction code. At that time, you can say the explanation like this. We have given something like he is having all the levels of approvals. No, here in the firstly in the project a big blunder has happened, or even a scam may also happen here. So if it is any finance related activity means, so the first thing he is giving is the person who have given authorization has not verified the details properly. For a FI consultant, you must be giving authorization for only FI transaction codes. How can you give authorization for a HDT code, MMT code? You may say that he is having all the levels of approvals, but it is not a fulfillment for your act. They are going to question. If you are having approval means you will be giving everything now. Who you can just bring all the people who, so there is no full stop here, just commas only. So in this situation what we can use is something called as a firefighter concept. So this firefighter concept is the core concept of the EAM, emergency access management. So when are we going to use this firefighter concept, or how are we going to use this firefighter concept? So the definition is this: if any SAP consultant required extra access for temporary time, then you are going to use the firefighter concept. So understand this one. What is it is saying? Extra access for temporary time. This is the important terminology you should be noting here. So when are we going to use the EAM concept? If any consultant requires extra access for a temporary time only. So This is the biggest issue for us. He is not asking for permanent access. So if it is for the permanent access means it's the SD team or the MM team, they will be taking responsibility. But here it's only like 1 day or 2 days. So mostly 1 day or 2 days access you are providing means everyone will assume that you are also part of the fraud which is happening here. So for this reason, anyone requesting for extra access for one particular time, it may be for 1 day or 2 days, you can use this concept. If we are not following this one, if we are giving like a customized rule, we are having lot of headaches to be faced. Firstly, a new rule was added to maintain. So do we have any validity period for a role in ECC? No.
We can say that.
Where?
User.
For a user, but for the role?
No.
No, right? So we don't have any role validity period. So you created a role, you are giving access for 2 to 3 days. Then what about that role? If someone is going to get access to that role, who should take responsibility? You, because you created that one and left it there. So you thought that every month I can use like 2 days, so I have created this rule. But in between there are 28 days which it is unattended. What if someone misuses that rule? First question in the change document they will be checking who created this rule. You. So you created a role and you are not maintaining it properly. So it's your responsibility only. If you are creating any roles, you should be making sure that you are continuously monitoring that roles. Okay, whatever the role you are creating, even though. Okay, let us assume that you have created a customized role. So you have given to the user called Krishna. So how can you make sure that this Krishna is only executing for the report generation only? How would you know? So only solution is you should just sit beside me and check what are the activities I am doing for 2 days. That's the only solution we are having till now. But now it's no longer required. We are going to have something called as a firefighter concept. In this firefighter concept, whoever user required extra access, we will provide him something called as a firefighter ID. So by using this firefighter ID, so this firefighter ID you will be giving validity period for 2 days or 3 days you will be giving. So what happened as a GRC consultant, you can track each and every activity that is executed by this firefighter ID. So regular SAP ID, you have some tracking tools, but it is a very difficult task for you, and it is having lot of restrictions. But when it comes to a firefighter ID, so if anyone required extra access, simply provide him firefighter ID. Ask them, don't use your so like right now Krishna is asking extra access for the finance transaction codes or transaction codes. Simply give him firefighter ID. Okay, so after 3 days, what you can do? You can check when this firefighter ID was executed, including the date, time, and the transaction code you are using. So after checking all the things, what you have to do? So this report must be sent to the concerned department, okay, for the review purpose. You have to send them immediately. Like you can take an example like February 28, 29, you have given a firefighter ID to Krishna. He has executed some transaction codes and SD transaction codes. So after the firefighter got expired, he no longer can use that ID, even though he has the ID and the password. Okay, he will get the he may not access, he will not access firefighter ID. So at that time you have to generate the report and see the report, and you have observed that he is using SD transaction codes and transaction codes. Immediately you should be reporting to the concerned department stating that so a a FI consultant has executed the transaction codes on so and so date and time. Please review them. You are going to report to the concerned department. So coming across what all the executions they have done. They will be reviewing it and giving you the report stating that so everything is fine. They are going to review this one. Now, the same scenario happened. The audit team has now figured out that there is a misuse of a transaction code by a FI consultant on February 29, 2024. First question, who have provided access? They will be calling you, the security consultant, you they are calling. What you can answer? So we have, as a security consultant, we have not provided any direct access. We have provided access through the firefighter concept, and this is the ID and this is the report generated, and the report was sent for review purpose also, and the team has approved it. Okay, the team has approved, reviewed and approved it. So what you are doing here, you are agreeing that you knowingly giving access for 2 to 3 days for a FI consultant, and you have taken all the precautionary measures, and after providing access you have sent the report for the review purpose also. So everything from your side, you have every possible solution in the sales AP. So from now onwards, in this picture, you are not going to be concentrated. The person who have given the review, who have reviewed the transactions that has executed, it's the discussion between the audit team and the consultant who have reviewed it. So you will be no longer in the picture. So this is what the precautionary measures we are going to take. That is, so what exactly we are doing? Tracking the user who is doing the extra access here. So as a part of this firefighter concept, we are going to have something like this. Something like some new terminologies we will be having. Firefighter owner, firefighter controller, firefighter user, and firefighter ID. So you are going to do your firefighter configuration by execution of all these things. Okay, here the firefighter controller is going to track the user with risk, not the user with risk, track the user. Okay, whoever is the firefighter user, that user will be tracked by the firefighter controller. Again, who is going to take all these responsibilities? Owner, controller, means these two activities, owner and controller, are nothing but the GRC users only. They are going to take the responsibility of the firefighter owner and firefighter controller. Firefighter owner is going to give the approvals and rejections, like who is the user getting access. So which consultant is getting access to which firefighter user? This owner is going to give the approval, and the firefighter controller is going to track the firefighter users. So here Krishna is the users who required extra access. So example I am giving. So Krishna is a user who required extra access. So for this Krishna, we are providing a firefighter user here. And the firefighter controller is someone like a Noman. So Noman is a firefighter controller. So what he is going to take responsibilities whenever Krishna logins and perform the activity, he is going to track the activities here. And here there is someone called as a Vasim here. So what is his responsibility? He is going to take care of which controller is going to track which user. He is going to take care of this one. Approvals and rejections. So who can track which user? He is going to track the thing here. So in this way, total 3 users are involved. Firefighter ID, I will explain it later while doing the execution part, not right now. at the time of configuration you can understand this one. This is what happens here. So in a project there will be only one firefighter owner. There can be multiple controllers, there can be multiple users, there can be multiple IDs, okay, in this way. So this is the basic introduction of the firefighter concept. Okay, what is the definition of firefighters or the emergency access management? When is the EAM concept used? Whenever any user required extra access for temporary time, then we are going to use this firefighter concept. Okay, so right now, so in our example, someone like Krishna required emergency access to the transaction code. So you are using the firefighter user. In the same way, you are having this firefighter concept even for the HANA database and the Fury also. So in the HANA database, if a user required emergency access to the privileges, then you can use the, so in the place of transaction codes, replace it with the privileges and the applications. That's it. The concept is same. So that's the reason all this concept ARA, EAM, BRM, ARM. Again, you should be executing them in the advanced courses also. Okay, right then. So this is the basic understanding about the EAM. Anyone having any doubts still here, you can ask me.
And starting you said that for a user will give this SAP underscore. At that time I thought of saying that, but no one will assign this profile, right? SAP underscore.
We will.
You will assign that?
Yes, for suppose there is some manager level. He is almost requesting like 120 transaction codes, 200 transaction codes, one T code from each module he is requesting. Or else he will be directly asking the same requirement, like, right? I required complete access for 2 days so that I can go through every module and download various types of reports. If he is having approval, we are going to assign this profile. There will come this requirement. Okay, we will have this requirement also, like user required complete access to all the modules or complete SAP system. There will be a requirement.
So with all
Be-
the high level approvals.
Yes. So what happens is sometimes the user may not be sure what exactly access he required. Okay. Something you can take. There is something like a client interaction, a demo we have to show. At that time, that user ID, we cannot go with the limited access, right? So he all of a sudden he is asking for some new transaction code, which is not, we have not yet discussed. So you cannot say that we don't have authorization against and for the security consultant to provide access to this T code. No. So there are many users in the project who is going to have complete authorization. And when you are taking like a senior consultants and the team leads, mostly they will be having full authorization itself.
So they will belong to this module actually.
Right?
Mostly.
Mostly
Who will be
for
having SAP or
mostly for every module people, when you are asking particularly, it can be like a ABAP basis, and the security team mostly they will be having for full authorization, senior consultants I am talking about. Why? Because we need to go through. So you take the ABAP team, what happens is mostly if any transaction codes we are executing, we will be getting an ABAP programming errors sometimes. So at that time, to check that, they need to go. And the basis team, they will be sometimes the transaction codes. If something is not executable, reporting errors we will be getting. Some reports may not be executed at that time also. Similarly, you are taking something like a concept like security team. So what happens, we require to customize the transaction codes in this way. So that time also we require access in this way, or we sometimes we need to do the testing also. We need to try some transaction codes by our own. So for this reason, so mostly there are, like, I'm not saying that every security consultant will have access, but if it is senior level, they will not always rise, I required access to this.
Right.
Yes, that's the thing. So this is all about
and
the
this firefighter ID when you are talking about this ID is a just given for the temporary access only, or it can be used as a regular?
No, only for the temporary access.
Could be 1 month, could be 1 week.
Not 1 month. 1 month is a very long time. So generally, mostly like 2 days, 3 days, or maximum it can be like a 5 days. It won't be more than that.
Just a temporary ID.
Very much temporary ID. Okay.
The same user will be having a different SAP user ID.
No, it's a separate SAP user ID. Like in firefighter ID is the one which we create in SU01 only. So all those settings we will look into that later. It's like a regular user ID only, but it is going to be converted into a firefighter ID. Okay, right. Any other doubts? Right then. And instead of going for the role introduction, so today I have gone through with your previous training things. So there are some what things we need to discuss in security. I will cover them. First one is the LSMW. I think we got an error, right, while execution. The user IDs are not created in the LSMW as per I remember for your batch only. So there is one small thing I have missed. I will just show you that one. And I think I have not shown the SAP traces also for you, right? SAP traces I have not discussed for you. So firstly, the LSMW, I will just quickly again once again execute one small thing that is going to be different. So have you started practicing the scripting tools? I think no, not yet, right? So LSMW. So who is this one? Right. So creating a new project, I will be quickly executing this one, not taking a lot of time as it is second time we are doing. So like just creating a customizer project name, Z underscore something like SBI, SBI project, continue. So sub project name, Z underscore SBI South Zone, continue this one. So creating an object Z underscore SBI mass users, mass user creation, executing this one in this way. So create this one, sorry, execute this one. So previously we have done all these steps like what anyone do remember what are the steps in one? Firstly, we have done the recording here. Okay, some recording we have given here ZSBI. So what is the T code you are recording? You should be giving here, that is SU01, and give some user ID here. So example purpose Z underscore SBI01 I am giving. Create this one. Mandatory fields last name and password I am giving here. Save the details. So these are the things. So here what is the thing? Z user ID. Okay, in this way I have to give everything. 2 times you have to give. So this is the last name. Z last name. Z last name. Continuing. So this is the user type, not a mandatory thing. It will automatically take as dialog user if we are not giving anything. So just double click and give the password. Z password. So this is the password one we are having. So giving the same. Continue and Z password 2. Execute this one. So after this, go for Control Y and copy the data. In this way, you have to copy the data which you require and open an Excel sheet. Paste it in your Excel sheet here. Just a second. Why the Excel sheet is so small here? Right. So after filling the data, just align the columns. So I'm just simply deleting the extra columns we are having in this way. So after this, what you have to do? So cut, paste it in the fourth cell. So the same activity you should be performing for everything. So cut it and paste it in the fourth cell. So you have to repeat this activity for everything. So just setting the cells nicely so that we may not get any errors. So in this way, you should be aligning your data. After you align your data properly, next step will be, so by smalls and capital letters differently we are getting here. Okay. So once rearrange your data in this way, after that, so just leave this one. We will be doing this one later. After that, save the data. Go one step backward. One step backward. So just insert your recording. Whatever is your recording, you can just enter it here. Save the recording and go one step backward. Step one is completed. Move forward for the step two. That is creating your source. Z so underscore it is not taking ZSBI users. So continue this one. So this one also we have done. Save this one. Next one is the define the source field. Create this one, change option and select your source field and click on the table name. So this one also we have done previously, like CCC, that is the format and length we have given here in this way. So format here we are going to give is the C, that is the what is the format we are using, and next one is the length we are having, what is the length of the each field. So I am standardly giving as 30 here in this way. After giving all the details, so why the font is different? Okay, yeah. So copy this data and paste it in your in this table in this way. Okay, so right. After you copy the data in this way, save this data, go backward, go back, save the data once again and go backward. Next one is the define structural relationship, go for it, change. So save the data, go back. Next one is the field mapping, execute this one, go for the change option, go for the auto field mapping here in this way. Accept the proposal. So in this way, you have to accept all the four fields proposal. Continue this one, go backward, save yes. Next one is the define fixed values. Execute this one. So you have to make some small changes here. Any one change will be okay. So go for the change option. So in this way, save the data. So Ivani, already we have done the execution. That's why I'm going. fastly. Next one is the specify the files. So here where we got last time we got the errors in this step only. So we have what we have done is previously. Firstly, copy the data of one cell, open a new Excel sheet and go for the paste special. So in the select the transpose. So in this way the data has been, so last name, user ID, last name and passwords. In this way we have done. So give the user IDs which you want to create here. Z underscore SBI02. In this way you can just give all the user IDs which you want to create here. What is the last name? You can just give it here. And what are the passwords? You can just give it here. Welcome at the rate 123 I am giving. So what is the rule? The passwords must be matching here in the both the fields. Then only the user ID will be created correctly. So so all the passwords I am giving here. For every user ID I am giving a password here. So after you giving this data, go for the save as option. So you can save it anywhere. So I am simply saving it on the desktop only. So LSMW. So the format we are selecting is text MS DOS. So this is the format which we require. Save the file. Okay. Now, here you have to go for the change option. In the legacy data, go for the create option and select your file which is available on the desktop. That is LSMW. So give some name here, SBI mass users. So previously very small error I forgot to select the table format. That's it. Only this small error, the entire execution was ruined. I have just selected as no separation, but it is the what is the format we have given? Table format. So tablet, this radio button you have to select. That's it. Entire execution will be successful, nothing else. So that's the small mistake which we have done in the previous session. Go back, assign the files. So this is the file that is going to be assigned. Go back, so assign it, change option, check the file and save the details. Go back, read the data. So execute it. Hello. So all the data will be reading. So total 7 entries it is reading. Display the data that it is able to read. Execute this one. So this is the information which it is able to read here. Go back, convert the data. It is going to convert your data into the format. So total 7 entries has been converted. Just go back, display the converted data in this way. So this is the data that has been converted. Go back, create a batch input session. We are going to create a batch input session. Execute this one. So one batch input, total 7 entries has been taken. Run this execution. Execute this one. Select your entry and go for the process. In the foreground, we can go it and go for the process. So first one is the user ID, accept, last name and password. Obviously first one we will get the error. What is the error you are getting? The password specified are not identical. So check the field number 1, user ID, last name, password 1 and password 2. For this reason first entry will be always error for us. Now just go one step backward. No, so go backward. So do you want to still give the input? Yes. Now proposal number 2. Yes, accept, accept, accept. That's it. User ID 2 was created. In the same way, how many user IDs you are creating? Those many times you have to give this proposals in this way. So check here on the back side, a small place, SBI 05 06 one by one user ID the system is creating for you SBI 07 in this way. That's it. All our process is done. You can check the report here. So we got error in one entry and six entries were successful. If you want a detailed report, you can go for analytics here on the top and go for the log report. Where is the log report? So here you are having the logs here, display the log option. So see here, in this process, only one error we are getting. See, what is the error? Only one is the error you are getting. Six are processed correctly. So in this way, you are going to get the log report also. So what is the error one? This first one is the error we are getting. Remaining six entries. One, two, three, four, five, six. These six entries are correctly given and these user IDs are created successfully. సో లాస్ట్ టైం అదొక్క చిన్న మిస్టేక్ అంతే ఎంటైర్ LSMW పోయింది. సో ఫర్ దిస్ రీజన్ ఓన్లీ స్క్రిప్టింగ్ టూల్స్ ఆర్ సో కాంప్లెక్స్. చిన్న డీటెయిల్ యు ఆర్ మిస్సింగ్ ఏ స్మాల్ డీటెయిల్ యువర్ ఎంటైర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి రూయింగ్ హియర్. ఓకే, right. So just now I have checked yesterday that this is the one which I have not shown. I forgot it later. So it is covered and I guess CUA is still balanced, right, for you? Yeah. CUA and the SAP trace is also a small topic we are having. Did we complete the SAP buffer? I think yes, right? SAP buffer we have done. SAP traces, it's a small topic. We will discuss one another day. So, ఏంటి
SNC activities
SNC activation కావాలంటే we should be going for the application level. I will check if I have any server access for that. Generally, the basis ID we required for that. I will once check it. Okay, if possible, I will show you an SNC activation also. Right.